What up, y'all? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports. And today, we definitely going to be talking about who's going to win the NFC and AFC South divisions. The Clippers. Did the trade make them better? And college football is getting a little bit crazy out there, y'all. What's going to happen next? We're going to find out what we think next on Yeah, I Said It Sports. Subscribe. Unlike Sean, he just disappeared. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports. I am your host, Chris, and I got my guys with me, Sean, Darius, and Blair. What up, fellas?
What up? What's going on?
Y'all know how we do it. We getting right into it. So this week, we continue picking our division winners. And this week, we're doing the NFC and AFC South. We're going to start with the NFC South. All right. So if you're not familiar who is in the NFC South, I will oblige you. And here are the participants in the NFC South. So you got the Carolina Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, and the defending Super Bowl champion Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, guys, I think this might just be a unanimous decision. We never know. Who y'all got winning the darn division? Blair, who you got, Blair? I got to start off with you because I already know who's going to win.
You already know it's about to be exceptionally easy. I'm going to go Tampa Tom. And the Brady Nears, bruh. So we're going to go Tom and the Brady Nears with backups, and we're going to see the Brady Nears, bro. Yeah, we're going to see what they do. We'll see what they do this year. There's no real – who else is there? There's nobody that looks as solid as Tampa Bay in the division.
Before I put this out, get the T-shirt made, get everything, because niggas going to jump on that shit. You know they are. I'm just saying. Get the T-shirt made.
Brady Nears.
You know what I'm saying?
Brady
Get your money out.
Bro. Just Tom and the Brady Nears.
Tom and the Brady Nears.
Ooh, coming to a club near you.
Right. For real.
Start selling
stadium near you. They got a 17-hour show coming.
But you got the Bucks.
Of course, bro. Of course. Who else is there? Carolina? No. New Orleans? No.
Atlanta?
Notice I didn't even say Atlanta, bro. Not happening, dude. They're pretty much starting over. Until I see Atlanta do anything, I don't assume they're going to do anything.
I hate to do this.
No, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop Chris before Chris even starts with his I love Tom, but I hate to pick Tom. I just want to give Sean the opportunity to tell us why he thinks Tom is going to do it this year.
I'm actually picking Tom myself. And the reason why I think they're going to do it is because they brought back, 95% of the personnel.
100% of the starting offense and defense back next year.
Well, there it is then. So everybody's back.
All 22.
And as far as New Orleans, I don't know if they went with Jameson yet. So that's kind of the limbo. Carolina, you got Sam Darnold trying to prove himself. I think he still might pull out 6-7 games. But they lost Curtis. I just don't see nobody else really even coming close to them guys, man. I see them guys winning maybe 14, 13 games easily. So I'm picking Tom, bro. Ain't nothing else to talk about.
Let's get it, Darius. You agree, right? You Tampa Tom all the way. Brady Nears?
I got I got some context for mine though. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit of context for mine. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers should win this division. I do think that they are going to win this division. I think it's going to be a little more interesting than people think it is because they did bring back 100% of their team, offense and defense. But it also means that they brought back that same offensive line, man. And if they had a weak point, it was probably in the offensive line a little bit. So as long as they can keep Tom protected, and I want to see, with these older guys, it's always, what does the next year bring? So that's going to be the biggest thing for me with them. I feel like as long as they can protect Brady, he should be all right. As far as I don't really see him falling off that much, even though he got a year older. But are they going to protect him? The defending championship is going to be the hardest one, especially in their division. I still think New Orleans has the best defensive front in that position, in that division. So I still think that's going to be a tough game for them, only because they could probably get the most pressure on them. Are they going to get their quarterback situation straight? I don't know. I feel like it is terrible in New Orleans. Like, you got a dude who plays quarterback but really doesn't play quarterback. And then you got a dude who I don't even think he can see half the time. Jameis Winston just be out there. Like, Jameis Winston is literally the meme, like, hey, he down there somewhere, and he just going to close his eyes and throw that mug, bro. So, like, Carolina, I don't believe in Sam Darnold. I know he was in a tough situation with the Jets, but I don't see him being like the dude that changes Carolina really, because they build their offense around Christian McCaffrey now. So I don't see that happening.
Right.
And Atlanta, man, the Georgia curse for all teams is still alive and well. I'm sorry. Ain't nothing going. They just traded Julio Jones, and now they get two main receivers. I don't even think neither one of them over 6 feet. So, yeah, good luck with fourth place. That's how I feel about Atlanta.
Well, I feel the same way about Atlanta. They definitely bringing up the rear. Sorry, Jesus. Yeah, you're going to have another year of pain and anguish.
I ain't sorry, Jesus. You know your team sucks.
Right now, bro. Like, I don't even know why you get sad anymore.
Jesus, Corley, I can call out a couple of y'all right now.
I don't know. But, yeah, I see Atlanta finishing last. I see the Panthers finishing second. I got New Orleans finishing third. The reason why I see the Panthers finishing second, because I like their defense. I like their draft picks that they picked. And
I do like that corner they picked for real.
Yeah. I like the draft picks that they picked. I feel like the defense is going to be solid. I feel like the offense is going to be solid. I think they just missed the playoffs, but they're going to be pretty good. I think they're going to get at least 8 to 9 wins. And the Bucks are going to win this. I cannot go with anybody else in this division because just like y'all said, I mean, Jameis Winston, you got talent, but bruh, you're going to have to cut down on the interceptions, bruh.
You got his eyes fixed, man.
Well, hey, look, man, you can say he's a mid-level quarterback, bro. Guess what? He's a mid-level quarterback. People from Florida State always gonna hate me for saying that because I'm a Miami fan. But guess what? He a mid-level quarterback. Whenever I see people argue about Jameis Winston, people always take it back to what he did at Florida State. This man done been in the league for like 6-7 years now. I don't want to hear about what he did at Florida State. What have you done for me lately? Lately, he been riding the bench. So I'm just saying, dog.
It's his shot. But I definitely I'm gonna go with the Bucks. The only thing I think about with the Bucks is them fighting complacency, especially if they start off kind of slow or kind of fast. You know, when you're a Super Bowl champion, you're just like that same fire ain't there. Like, you know, I already got one.
It's not there for
especially
everybody, Tom.
That's what
yeah.
I.
The
But that's
biggest
what I
thing
mean.
is it's gonna be for the younger guys, especially like maybe like Devin White. I think maybe you know like Tom Brady. Don't they got Jason Pierre-Paul?
Yep.
You know, I think people like that they'll probably be all right. Maybe Mike Evans, maybe you know. I want to see how the receivers act. 'Cause, you know, Mike Evans, he a diva already, so you know he get it. He get him a little championship. You know, he might feel like you know niggas feel like hey, I earned this call and that call and you know all sorts of stuff like that. But I think Tom Brady is. They got the right guy at quarterback. So like, if anybody reminding them that hey, this shit ain't guaranteed, it's Tom Brady. As many rings as he got, he's letting them niggas know. Like, this shit is not guaranteed at all. I saw an article the other day where, hey, Tom Brady cussed out everybody at practice because you already know how Tom Brady get.
Tom trying to play, bro. He want to win, and like you already
Yeah.
bringing the wrong attitude at the beginning of the season.
And that's what I mean. So that's the only thing I feel like that can stop them from not winning this division. But yeah, it's a sweep. I think it's the Bucks. I don't see anybody challenging. Nobody
You think
just
they
has
going
that
perfect in the
complete team yet.
division? That's what you're saying? 6-0? They sweeping them?
Nah, I don't think they're gonna sweep the division.
That's what you just said.
No, I
man.
said it's a sweep. Like we all pick the Bucks, is what I'm saying. That's all.
I'll just mess with you. Yeah.
Nah. They ain't gonna sweep the division. Somebody gonna upset them. More likely than not, probably New Orleans, maybe the Panthers, definitely not the Falcons. Just saying. But
Division games are tough, bro. That's the problem with division games.
and that's
No
why
matter
I'm
how
never
good
gonna
that
say
team
that.
is, they can beat you.
Facts.
They scary though. I ain't gonna lie. Tampa Bay scary. My boy said Antonio Brown is the best receiver in practice right now.
I don't put it past
Scary.
him.
Scary.
Don't put it past him because he got it. He got it. But moving on, we got to go to the AFC South. All right. AFC South. Who's in the AFC South. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, the Texans, and we also have the Tennessee Titans. So Darius, who you think gonna get this one, man?
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. This division is crazy. Not crazy as in a sense of, you know, it's a whole bunch of good teams. It's just gonna be some crazy stuff going on within the division. We're gonna see what Trevor Lawrence got, which he can only do with what he has. So I think his season is probably gonna be decent for what he has available to him. Jacksonville don't got no names. Trevor Lawrence is Jacksonville right now. Him and what's my man DJ Chalk? That's him, the receiver out there. So, huh?
They got his running back too,
Travis Etienne.
Man, look, bro. If you ain't a receiver coming from Clemson, you don't be making no noise in the NFL. I don't even want to hear it. Real talk. That's just how I view it. That's my personal opinion.
Hey, y'all fans,
That's my personal
I ain't
opinion.
say it.
Hey, outside of Deshaun Watson, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and receivers or probably defense, running backs, Clemson running backs usually don't be hitting on nothing in the NFL. So, hey, who?
CJ Spiller.
Man, look, man. All that hype he got at Clemson, CJ Spiller was all right. They don't be hitting on nothing. Like I said, they living off DeAndre Hopkins in the league right now. This nigga graduated 10 years ago. But Tennessee, I'm thinking Tennessee, you know, they should win this division. They still got who I believe is the best running back in the league, Derrick Henry. I feel like Julio Jones does add a dimension to their offense. Not that he gonna be there and necessarily get 1,000 yards, but it's gonna be you can't not pay attention to Julio. So all that does is keep one of them people out of the box that you wanted to put in the box for Derrick Henry. So I think he gonna win the rushing title again. Houston, hey, Houston is a dumpster fire. They're wrong for how they doing my man, Deshaun Watson. Screw Houston. I really feel like that. Like, I don't think he gonna suit up until he get traded. Like, I don't think he gonna suit up in no regular games, no none of that. I just think it's over between Deshaun Watson and Houston. And they got a lot of problems. Like, they bad all over the field. So ain't none of that going on. So yeah, I hit everybody who? Houston, Tennessee. Who else in this division?
Jacksonville.
The Colts.
Indianapolis.
Oh, the Colts. They paid the wrong quarterback, man. This dude is made out of origami paper, dog. I don't understand, man. And I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but some players is just injury prone. Carson Wentz is one of them guys, man. But you can expect it from the way that he plays. He plays fearless. He don't mind putting that shoulder forward to trying to get that first down or that touchdown. And he didn't come up in one of these, like, what school he had went to? North Dakota State or something?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, bro, he ain't used to getting hit for real in college. He wasn't getting hit by nobody in the SEC or in the ACC or in the Pac-12 or in the Big Ten. He wasn't doing none of that, really. He just injury prone, man. And it's tough for the Colts because other than quarterback, they have a nice team. Like, their team is nice. So the Colts is one of them teams nice. I see, like, they defense carrying them for about the first 5 games, and you like, oh, maybe they can do it. But then you can't put everything on your defense. So I see them boys tiring out towards the end of the year, kind of like how my defense do sometimes, or how my defense done did over the years in Pittsburgh. Defense just can only carry you for so long. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Tennessee gonna win. Tennessee.
All right. Sean, who you think, man?
I'm actually going to kind of piggyback, but I'm going to go the other route. I'm going to go with the Colts. And the reason being is because Carson Wentz. The defense solid. The defense solid. Got done paying my man from South Carolina State. You know what I'm saying? He deserved that. Clap it up for him.
Orangeburg, stand up, baby. We out here. Stand up, baby.
Carson Wentz is now with his QB whisperer. And, you know, once you got your guy, you know, he going to be able to give him the plays that he know they're going to be more successful with him. You know what I'm saying? So he know what he can do and can't do. And to piggyback on that injury, yes, he do get hurt. But every time he get hurt, the man is balling up until the injury. He is balling. But Carson Wentz, in my opinion, Eagles fans, what he lack is all in the mental. You know what I'm saying? Because he came back and he seen Jalen Hurts really out there balling. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wasn't balling, but he was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He at least have a fighting effort. And it was just getting to him because he just felt as if that was his team. You know what I'm saying? He won a ring with the guys, even though, in my opinion, he didn't even earn that ring. You feel me? I say Nick Foles won that ring.
I would give him 50-50.
Yeah, you feel me?
He played most of the season.
He played the season
at an MVP level.
That is a big 50% because Nick Foles literally carried them through the playoffs. So that's why I'm like, I give them 50-50. But I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's the reason why I'm picking the Colts. Who I would have that fight in second. Of course, I'm gonna have to go with, man. Even though Deshaun, you my boy and all, man. I just don't see it.
Play, man.
I don't see him playing either.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening, man. So they gonna come in at last. I mean, and the Chargers, I mean not the Chargers, but the Jacksonville. I think they're gonna come in third. Yeah, I mean, I see Trevor Lawrence, you know what I'm saying, having a solid rookie camp. I don't think he's gonna win Rookie of the Year or anything like that. I do think that he do have a solid coach, not just saying because he's from Ohio, but he do have a quarterback coach. You know what I'm saying? Urban Myers will help him develop a little bit faster, but they got to build around that man. They got a billionaire owner, start spending some of that money. And that's just the problem with Jacksonville. They always have talent, but them guys always leave. I mean,
So with them, I'm gonna ask you a question real quick.
Yep.
So with them, with you having Jacksonville at third, you think Trevor Lawrence leads them to better than 500 this year?
Now, I actually think that the AFC North going to steal some. I mean, not AFC North, but the AFC West is going to steal a lot of those games to put 3 teams in. So with that being said, they'll fall short a game.
Okay, I got you.
Because that AFC West is tough, man. Besides,
so we go 8 and 9.
Yeah, 8 and 9.
Ooh, hey, third in the division, 8 and 9. That would be a win.
That would be a
huge
win.
That would be a win for Trevor Lawrence. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I do see Tennessee. They can go pound for pound with anybody, man. I really can't even argue the fact that somebody like, man, I see them first winning the division. I wouldn't even debate with you. I just like who I like.
I feel you on that.
I feel that. Who I see coming in dead last is obviously the Texans. The Texans they ain't going nowhere. They know they ain't going nowhere. They just trying to find the best deal to get Deshaun up out of there now at this point, because I just watched a report where a reporter was like, yeah, they still hoping that he's decided that he changes his mind and to come back. Bro, no.
They're going to have to give him away, and the Texans is going to be the Browns for the next 10 years.
And they're going to have to understand that. They're going to have to give him up to somebody.
Who wants him with all that baggage?
A lot of teams, apparently.
The biggest thing is Deshaun Watson ain't did nothing to hurt himself. Like, he ain't been out here in the media doing nothing crazy. He just been himself. So, and it's looking like now, because if it was going to be something like he really did some shit, I feel like by this point, nigga, we would have heard that shit by now. Every time you hear something, it's like, oh yeah, it's this many people still trying to do this to Deshaun Watson. This nigga got some good lawyers. Buddy got some good lawyers, bro. Buddy got some good lawyers, especially if he keep everything civil. If he keep everything civil, man, that junk ain't gonna matter. It's gonna be, oh, we got Deshaun Watson for a steal from the Texans. That's what it's gonna be. Somebody like Denver or motherfucking fucking around, you let a year go by, Green Bay let Aaron Rodgers go, figure end up in Green Bay. That's some crazy shit.
You never know. But
because Deshaun Watson just spending guaranteed money right now.
Yeah, I see that as more of a possibility than anywhere else, because apparently the rumor is that they want him to go towards, not to get off track, but they want him to go to the NFC. They don't want him in the AFC, which I understand, because it can come back to haunt you. It still might come back to haunt you if you go and win a Super Bowl somewhere else. You're still gonna be sick. But
boys in purgatory.
Yes, they're going to lose a lot of games this year. They might win one or two. Coming in third, a strong third, I see is Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going. I ain't gonna see 8 games, but I do see about 4 or 5.
You don't think they can win 8 games?
Nah, I see about 4 or 5.
They can win 6 games. I think they can win 6 games.
Okay, yeah, like 5 or 6 games, because they added some talent.
They can beat Houston twice now.
Yeah, so they can beat Houston twice. That is true. So I'll say 6 games. I just thought about that. 6 games.
Houston gonna sign what's my man from Any Given Sunday?
Willie Bean.
They gonna sign Willie Bean. Boy, signing Willie Beeman,
dog. In second, I gotta go with the Colts. I understand Sean said he got his his coach, you know, his whisperer, but his whisperer can't whisper him his ass out of these injuries he keep getting. So shit. That's the only reason why I can't go with the coach. I gotta go with Tennessee.
The Colts O-line is better than the Eagles O-line.
This is true. This is true. But yet he still got hurt and we ain't even started the season.
Ain't even started yet. This nigga done motherfucking broke his foot. This nigga is Paper Mario, dog. Bro, like, Carson Wentz can't catch a break, bro. Can't catch a break, man.
At all. And that's why I can't go with him. I do think that their running back, Mr. Taylor, is gonna ball out.
Oh yeah,
he definitely gonna ball out. Yeah. But with that being said, they just don't have the QB, and he's gonna get hurt. And the Tennessee Titans here, man, listen now. They got Julio, they got Derrick Henry. They
got Ryan Tannehill.
They got it? I know, man. I know. They got Tannehill. And how I think it's actually gonna go the opposite of what Darius is saying. I think they're actually gonna load the box, make Tannehill throw to beat them, and then when he proves that he can do that, then they just gonna be in trouble.
If they do that jump, bro, we just gonna see a bunch of Julio highlights. 8 in the box, 9-route Julio audible every time. Facts. You got 8 in the box, audible, 9-route. Let's go. Don't even worry about it.
But that's what I think is gonna happen at least in the beginning of the season, and then they're gonna start hitting them with the run, and then they're gonna start hitting them with the audibles. And Tennessee running away with this division. I think they might even get a 1 or 2 seed. I see them as a Super Bowl contender. Like I said earlier, when they got Julio, I see them as a Super Bowl contender. I said it, Sean. You can put your eyeballs back in your head because that's what I said. I said what I said. Yeah, motherfucker, I said.
Hey, somebody else got to compete with Kansas City. He's saying it's Tennessee.
They got the defense.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna say it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I'm saying right now there's gonna be the Tennessee Titans. Blair, who you got, my brother?
You almost lost it. I'm gonna go ahead and just make it easy, bro. I'm gonna go Colts. Why not? They, to me, were a better team last year, even with Phillip Rivers, when he wasn't playing so great. To me, they were a better overall team than Tennessee. I don't know if they were one receiver away because they lost the other receiver that they had. So I'm not 100% if just adding Julio Jones, makes them better than the Colts. The Colts seemed like they had a better team. Like they were literally a quarterback away. And I assume Carson Wentz will be back. I figure he'll play okay. I don't know what potential versus what dude shows up. He's the clear starter. There's no confusion. So I feel like he should be fine. As long
as he stays healthy.
I don't know how much longer he has left considering, but if he can kind of get the injuries under control, then we'll see. Those are weird foot injuries him and that dude got. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and they got literally the same exact injury.
Thing, yeah, that was wild. And the timetable is such a wild 5 to 12 weeks. It's just one of those. That's an odd injury to get. Both of y'all so happy.
Yeah, they saying that both of them tracking towards playing in the first game. So
yeah, I know.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes when it gets closer. But I just think they were the better team. And if he can hold up, I mean, preseason I don't care about. And they got a long season to go. So even if he don't play week 1, I think he comes back and their team is good enough that as long as he doesn't blow it, they should be fine. I think Tennessee will be second. We'll see if they make that leap this year. They'll actually have to make the leap for it to really mean anything. Houston is trash. I'm not talking about them. And Jacksonville has a rookie quarterback, so you don't expect them to actually do anything. You think Houston is going to be garbage because Houston has been trash the last few years. Even with what Deshaun Watson did last year and the year before, Houston is just garbage. So you don't expect them to turn that around that fast. And Jacksonville, you don't expect Trevor Lawrence to take them to the playoffs. You just don't expect that. Not to say it can't happen, you just don't expect it to happen. So I see the best two teams
Bruh.
in the division were Tennessee and Indianapolis, and I see that being the best two teams on the way out. So, Coach.
We have now seen what happens when you can have an expansion team like Carolina who hit it big. Carolina already done been to a Super Bowl. They got established in the 90s. Now you got Houston. They done had plenty of star power. Plenty of star power, man. And it has never worked out, bro. I feel like they're gonna make it hard for the NFL to pick up another expansion team.
You know what? That is true. Never working out. It just never worked out. Speaking of teams that has not worked out yet, got to talk about the LA Clippers, man. The LA Clippers just made a trade.
LA Clippers.
And the trade that they made, we're going to find out if these guys like it or not. Did this trade make the Clippers better or worse? If you're not aware of the trade, this is the trade right here. Let me give you a quick slide. Boom. So the Clippers trade Patrick Beverley. Yes, Mr. Shit Talker himself, and Rajon Rondo. Yes, that Rajon Rondo. For basically Eric Bledsoe. Yes, Eric Bledsoe that used to play for the Bucks. Yes, the Bucks won the championship after they traded Eric Bledsoe. Does that suck? I'm sure it does for him because it makes it look like he was the problem. So now that we're back here,
bang, bang.
Does this trade make the Clippers better or worse? And I would like to ask the local LA Laker fan first.
How you feel about little brother?
Are you feeling threatened now? Or you feel threatened? You heard what I said. They added another score. Do you feel threatened?
Muscle.
Guys are in they don't have no locker room. They're in the showers. You feel me? They ain't even supposed to be in. We leasing it to these guys. You feel me? Y'all could just come and chill. For us, this trade is trash. You know what I'm saying? Zion needs some players behind him. Ingram Mark is a beast. You just got rid of Ball, so they had to bring in a solid point guard. You know what I'm saying? Does that even substitute what Ball had brought to the table? Ball was working on his three-point shot, everything like that. I have to say no. With that being said, I think the trade is really pointless. I don't even know why this is even a subject. I ain't talking about them niggas.
So the trade don't matter?
Nah, the trade don't matter. I mean, what does it help? I mean, actually, I would even feel some kind of way if they would have just got rid of one of the star players. Because if you look at either Paul George or Leonard, I mean, neither one of them gonna get them to the ship, bro. It would have been bigger news if they would have traded one of them. This news ain't nothing. I mean, I don't even know why we're talking about it. So I'm not threatened at all. So if that's the question for me, man, hell nah. Get the boys out of LA, had them just like the Chargers, move these niggas around. They could go to St. Louis or some shit. Somebody need a team. Get them out the building.
Call Nelly. Get them boys to sing right now.
Get them up out of here, man. The only time I even respected them, bro, is when they had Blake Griffin, you know what I'm saying, Jordan, Chris Paul.
Oh, so you ain't had fought with them when they had Elton Brand. That's what you
Nah,
said.
they was garbage then. Nah, they was garbage too, man. Them guys been garbage for a long time. I don't even know why the man, what he spent $2 billion on them boys?
$2 billion, 2 B.
I think it's air busted because the next year the Bucks got paid, it was only like $1 billion? It wasn't even in that. It was like 900 million or something, right?
Yeah, they were Milwaukee. They're in Milwaukee. They're in LA. That's just the difference.
True indeed. These boys got a ring now.
So now the franchise will be evaluated with more money. For valuation, it would be higher now.
Exactly.
I don't think this shit made them better nor worse.
Exactly.
Like,
I think it made them younger.
I'm a lean towards worse because you got rid of two players and
Oh.
just brought one player. My thing for the Clippers is you ain't bring in no leader. You had Rondo, who had the balls to be like, oh, I ain't worried about nobody. I'm the senior here. Kawhi the best player, but he don't want to take seniority. Paul George don't want seniority. He just want to hoop, dog. Paul George just want to hoop. That's it. He like, I like playing basketball and it get me paid. So that's what I want to do. You ain't bringing no leader. You not gonna win without no leader, dog. You not. So I feel Sean where I'm like, bro, you should have traded one of them. Bring in somebody who gonna lead your team. Eric Bledsoe not gonna lead your team. This dude playoff stats is horrendous, bruh. Horrendous. You talking about somebody in the playoffs done shot like 17% from three, 20-something% from the floor. How does that help you? How? And it ain't like you bringing in somebody, he don't have a strongest personality as Rondo or Patrick Beverly.
I think that's why they did it.
So when he come, hey, Kawhi, whatever, hey, he be like, hey, Kawhi gonna be like, hey, bro, we don't even be talking like that. Eric Bledsoe be like, oh, all right, bro, I don't be talking like that anyway. That junk helps nothing, bro. When they lose, who get mad in the locker room and go off on them? Now you looking at the Morris twin. He got to be the one to go off on everybody in the locker room. He don't even start. Man, come on, man. Clippers are terrible. They always been terrible. This is the best they've been in a long time, but it ain't enough. I agree with Sean. These boys need to move to Montana and just get a team. Hey, the owner got enough money, bruh. Build your own stadium somewhere else and create your own legacy. Because in LA, all they talk about is movies and the Lakers. They don't talk about the Clippers, dog. And now it really ain't nothing going on. This team about to get disassembled, and they're going to try to put some whole other pieces around. Patrick Beverly and Rajon Rondo was just a start. Zubac's ass is about to be up out of there. I mean, they got Terrence Mann. I don't even think you're going to hear Terrence Mann name again. Like,
boy, you just.
This team is booty, man. Hey,
Clip.
I'm out on the Clippers, dog. This another one of them teams where I feel like it's not them. It's not the players, bro. It's the organization. It's the organization, dog. Changes got to happen up top. Whoever's making the decisions is not making good ones.
All right, man. Where we are with the Clippers are.
Go, Blair.
I feel like the Clippers had to kill. They had to get under the, lose that cap so they can get off the luxury tax. They don't plan on winning this year coming up because Kawhi ain't playing. And even if he comes back, you don't expect him to be in, mid-season form for the playoffs. So you don't really expect much from them this year. So why carry all that money and pay all that overtax, pay all that tax for no reason? I feel like next year they'll probably retool and kind of move some dudes around maybe before the deadline, maybe some in free agent and kind of see what run they can make at it next year. Because with next year, it'll put Paul George and Kawhi Leonard with 2 years left on the same deal. So you can get somebody for a year or two. You can move some pieces around for a year or two. I don't know if, the Clippers are a draft franchise or, a trade franchise as far as how they're going to build it up. They've been a trade for most of what we can see with what they're trying to do. They'll trade it away. So if they can get a couple good pieces, they could be good the year after next, but next year they're not going to do anything. They'll still play hard because Buddy's a good coach. Like Tyronn Lue's a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
He should be able to get them dudes to kind of put some work into it. But, I mean, they got younger because Rondo and Beverly are older. So, they got younger at the position, and they saved the money, which is all they were trying to do.
I got a quick question for you. Do you now consider Kawhi Leonard liability because of injury?
No, not really.
Why?
I mean, so the knee thing is just fluky, dude. A bunch of dudes blew knees out this year, last year. I don't know what's up with the knee thing, but a lot of dudes went out. You know what I mean? So I don't know about, because his injury he's already been maintaining whatever that problem was for a while. So I don't know if it's been anything new to to be compounded on top of that, other than this knee. They really just been maintaining like the deterioration of the knee or the thigh, whatever his actual problem is. So I don't consider him to be a liability as far as like being injured works, because he's played the postseason the last few years. This year he got hurt. The year before he was balling. Paul George just stunk up the room. Like, it wasn't Kawhi's fault. PG did not ball at all in that bubble. So that wasn't Kawhi's fault at all. You know what I mean? Like, he showed up in the past few playoffs to do what he's supposed to do. He ain't playing all season. Everybody know he ain't playing 82 games. They're open about it. He's open about it. Everybody know Kawhi is not playing 82 games, but he plays all the games in the playoffs. So I don't consider him injury prone unless there's a setback or something happens with the same knee that could be connected to whatever the deterioration problem is. Like, whatever his injury is, it's already it's just getting worse over time. So he only has a finite amount of time before he can be that dude. Now, because of the way he plays basketball, it's straight to the point. So he could do that for a little while, but even then, at some point, the step he loses that makes him the defensive threat will also hurt him offensively. When, you know what I mean? Like, soon as that,
I definitely agree with that. Yeah,
that step goes,
like
in trouble. But until
I
that,
agree with that. Yeah. What's his name? Steve Ballmer. This was his version of going all in. So I feel like if he don't get at least one championship out of this, it's just not gonna happen for these guys. Because
if they don't make it out of this,
because I feel like if you don't make it in this era, it's like now you got Kawhi and Paul George locked in. If you don't get it in the Kawhi and Paul George era, by the time they leave, and it's not gonna be during the time where, oh, I can get this for Paul George still, and I can get this for Kawhi Leonard still. So if you don't win it all, it's basically you back to square one.
So the question that I asked is, are they better or worse? I think they're worse, but I think in some areas they're better. Because I feel like
situationally they're better.
Yeah, like certain situations.
That I can agree with that.
I feel like Eric Bledsoe is a better point guard, but I feel like the players that they lost were better for the team that they had. You hit the nail on the head. They didn't trade for a leader. They just traded for another point guard. I also think that they did that because they wanted to get some cap room, because I think they know Kawhi's not playing next year. And if he does, he's definitely not going to be back in time in order to be able to help us get to the championship.
That's going to be
we're not going to. And they re-signed him. He re-signed another contract. So that was important for them because they are building their own stadium, so they don't have to be, in the showers, as Sean said.
They don't got to be the little brother.
Yeah. So they are getting their own stadium in LA, and that's a whole lot of money. So I think that was imperative to keep both of them so they can take those two to the new stadium whenever that's going to be done.
Went to Montana.
Man, listen. But I don't think it made them better. I think it made them kind of worse. They lost a lot of defense. Even though Eric Bledsoe can play defense, he's made 2 all-defensive teams.
I was about to say he's nice on the defensive end now.
Nice on the defensive end. He can score in the regular season, but in the playoffs, man, good God, I don't know what happens to him. He just becomes a whole different player.
Rondo hadn't been that great in the regular season the last couple of years.
But in the playoffs.
But in the playoff, well, in the right situations, he's worked for the right team. The Lakers was the right team for him. Lakers already had a leader when Rondo got there. LeBron came. Oh, LeBron is the leader of this team. Like, that's just it. Rondo is a strong personality, but he can live with another strong personality. You know what I'm saying? When he went to the Clippers, nobody else is vocal. I saw somebody talking about this the other day. Like Kawhi shot an air ball one time. Then he looked at Rondo. Rondo like, nigga, what you looking at me for? Then you did that BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one. I got to talk to you about this, and you the star of the team. That don't make sense. That don't make sense.
Somebody has to
All
be
these
that dude.
other
Everybody's correct.
All these other dudes is great because they didn't mind being that dude. Kobe didn't mind it. Jordan didn't mind it. And LeBron don't mind. I don't mind being an asshole to you if it's gonna help you be better.
Everybody is correctable. Ain't nobody above the team. So, hey, they lost that guy, and shit, I don't know where they go from there, but
Clippers might not make the playoffs next year.
they might not. But moving on, last subject of the day. Not even sure if we've talked about this before, but we're gonna talk about it today. College football. The direction that it is going, it looks like we're going to have 3 to 4, maybe even 2, who knows, conferences, super conferences. If you did not know, because we didn't talk about Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. They say within 4 years, but that's probably going to be more than likely in 2 or maybe even next year. Who knows? They're going to get them up out of there. What do y'all think is actually going to happen next? Because I definitely watched this interview with Kirk Herbstreit, and they asked him the same thing, and he had an interesting point of view. And I think I agree with him, where he said that he thinks within the next 4 to 5 years, all the conferences as we know them are not going to be existing as we know them. They're going to be about 4 conferences. They're going to all have 16 teams in them. More likely, like how the NFL is set up, each conference is going to have 16 teams, and they're going to be separated by division, and they're going to break away from the NCAA and create their own thing and their own playoff and their own reward system, and go that route and basically be NFL like. And I think I agree with that, because the way that it's going it looks like they're gonna have to make some moves. What do y'all think is gonna happen next?
I agree to a certain extent. I do agree it's gonna be more NFL like, but the NCAA ain't gonna let that type of money get away. I feel like for niggas to just break off and be their own entity, they would rather give in to the hype, I think, so they don't miss out on that bread. So I do think it's going to be this establishment of super conferences, and then the college game is just going to emulate more of what you see in the NFL. Because you got a super conference, now I can't just have an East and a West in the division. Now I got to have North, South, East, and West. It's going to be very beneficial to some teams, and it's going to be very detrimental to other teams. But I do feel like that is the way that we are trending towards. I don't think nobody going to have a problem with it, because they're going to be like, that's just going to have these dudes more NFL ready. That's just what they going to say in the long run. They're going to be like, they more NFL ready. They used to running this type of system and that type of system or whatever. But I do think we are going into the super conference thing. Because if the SEC, I've been saying, hey, the SEC and the ACC is going to join up and make a crazy conference. Bro, if some junk like that happen, it's going to make it better for a lot of teams, I do think. Like I was telling you earlier, Chris, because like I said, if you join them 2 conferences together, everybody can't go to Alabama. Everybody can't go to Clemson. But if this is where the TV cameras are going to be, and this is where all of the eyes are going to be, a lot of people are going to flood to the super conference. So a team like Florida State can jump back sooner than you think they'll jump back. Or a team like Syracuse can climb up out of the bottom real quick. You know what I'm saying? Will it be good for the NCAA? I don't know. I can't say that. I don't really know. I have to just see how it play out. The biggest thing is going to be the money. Because when you become a super conference, it ain't going to change. Hey, each super conference is going to want to make the most money. So we'll just see how that go. But I do think we are going into the era of, it's going to be the super conference. It's eventually going to be just U.S. East, U.S. West, U.S. North, and U.S. South. And the best out of whoever come out of that shit, it's just going to be what it's going to be.
What you thinking, Blair?
That's hilarious. I think that everybody's gonna do it. They always follow the money, and it's just gonna end up that way. It's too many colleges anyway. Not as far as like for educational reasons. For athletics, dude, it's just a lot of schools. And even with that, only so many people making that out of all these schools, but all of them are getting money from it. So if they all want to stay D1, some of them are going to be forced to join. Because soon as they make one big one, everybody else is going to follow suit. Like soon as some dudes get together and one of them pops up, then they're all coming. Because it then won't be fair, and it'll be the competitive balance will be way off. So it's gonna happen. It was already off from how recruiting is done and who goes where, and you find out that Alabama. Of course, everybody's a five-star recruit. Everybody wants to go to Alabama, but you might go to Alabama and not see the field for like 3 years just because they got that many people at the position. But everybody wants to be in the SEC. So with them adding schools, it helps Texas and Oklahoma because Texas and Oklahoma, they kind of suck. Oklahoma was the best thing the Big 12 had. Texas is just Texas, so only people in Texas really care about Texas. Like, what has Texas done in the last 15 years? Like, nothing. They haven't been good.
They are what?
Matt
Number
Brown
2.
left.
They are number 2 or 3 this year in the preseason poll, though.
We'll see what that turns into. They've been that a few times. And then quickly came out and was trash. So we'll see what Texas turns into. I think with SEC getting bigger, if they get a couple more teams, they might just go Super League themselves. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's on the verge of everything being realigned because of how they keep picking up these teams, and even the conferences are already getting bigger. So it'll still be the upper level schools and then the mid level schools and the low level schools. It'll still be tiered off. Dudes will still pop up in the NFL from some team that you never heard of, from some place, and still be good. That's just what the NFL leads to because it's so many people and it's very next man up-ish. So long as you can make it, you can get a shot, But as far as the NCAA, like they're really pointless as far as what they do. They've just been in charge of like the money and how you can make the money. But with them losing their name, image, likeness thing, it's like, what else is the NCAA good for? Like, what did they do that was beneficial to the kids? They just threw NCAA on everything. Like, they're supposed to be about the kids, but they've been more about the money than anybody else. And keeping it in the NCAA. But now other money has come in, and it's like, dude, what? We can negotiate this stuff ourselves. Like, what good are y'all for everybody else?
Yeah, that's why I say before they let these dudes break off, they'll just be like, we'll do super conferences, whatever y'all want to do to keep the dollars in their pocket. They'll do it. They will be like, hey, we are open to all of that.
They're open to everything now when they realize they have no real power. Like, their power went out the window with that name is likeness show. Like, that was the stranglehold they had on everything and everybody. What do they have now? They were never very good at investigating things that actually mattered. It was only after scandal happened that these places did the NCAA ever show up for anything.
You
So it's
better
not like
preach to them
they
niggas.
just were pissed that some dude was too big and we don't like you, so we bought the probe about this $50 you got, or some dumb that they could, bother you about. But now that that's out the window, what else are they for? They weren't there for the kids, and clearly, as everybody can tell, what are they there for? And that's what's about to happen. They about to start realizing what are they there for?
And
Super conferences, a 24-team playoff. Like, yeah, they're going to end up at a 16-team playoff. Then it's going to end up being a 24-team playoff. You cut 2 weeks off the regular season. Everybody gets shorter games. You get like a 10, 11 game. What is it? What is it now? How many games do they play now?
Around 11 or 12.
11.
Well,
Depending on if you got
Depending on the conference you in.
yeah, depending
right.
on what
So
conference
it'll
you're
be
in.
like 8 games, and then like some kind of conference tournament, and then the playoffs. Like they'll end up playing like 16 games. Before it gets there, it's gonna take a second, but they're gonna end up playing like 16 games a season.
Yep. We had that conversation earlier. Sean, what you think is gonna happen, man? What do you think the next steps is?
I really want to say a lot about this topic. I got so much stuff boiling inside of my brain, like I don't want to forget to say.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it more, but
far as the super conferences, I do believe Kirk Herbstreit is onto something. But I do want to say tradition always changes things. That's the whole point of tradition. And I want to say years ago, the NIT be really big instead of NCAA for basketball. I also want to say the NAIA used to be big in football. So schools like Central State, that's out of Ohio, that was an all HBCU, won a national championship, and that was really big. Back in the day, that's how they even started the tournament. As far as the NCAA bracket, everybody used to go to the NIT in Madison Square Garden. That was the big thing for basketball. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA dismantle, and it might be something else that's governing them and will appeal to everything that they like. Like Blair was saying, they're gonna get down and lay down because that's where the money lies. Far as I do believe the NCAA has some regulations that help the young guys, though. Far as yes, it is about money, but it's also about people taking what I'm saying, like steroids and other things like that, enhancements. I'm saying that part of the game the NCAA regulates helps the game, just like with the NFL, the player commission, and all that other stuff. So you do have to have some type of leadership, some type of company that's going to try to organize this perfectly. Far as my opinion with Texas and Oklahoma going there, Oklahoma been balling. Texas, I agree with Blair. They just been big on their name. Texas do have a lot of talent down there for years. They keep talent. So that's a big recruitment portal, just like Ohio, Michigan, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, big on recruitment. You know what I'm saying? So I do see them still being able to get more people because they'll get more TV ratings. But I'm going to say something against that as well. Look at Notre Dame. They had a lifetime contract with ABC. We don't really see a lot of guys coming out of there no more. You might see 1 or 2 in the draft, you know what I'm saying? But TV ain't everything. It's really your level of competition. Because they really like
Notre Dame had the lifetime contract because it's Notre Dame, though. Like to your point of the whole legacy thing, bro. Like they considered them special for a long time.
True, but that's more on a political end. We talking about athleticism. It's more political because
they used to be good though. When they signed the contract, they didn't suck. Lifetime contract is a win for anybody that can get it. But they've always played that independent free role in football. They could just roam around and do whatever they want to do. That's what made them so special. Plus, they used to beat everybody. You are right. Yeah. They don't do any of that anymore.
I'm about to say, it's biting them in the ass now.
Mm-hmm. And they're still excited about Notre Dame every single year.
It's biting. I've agreed with Sean, though. It's starting to bite them a little bit now. For sure.
Yeah. And like I said, they used to book big games like with Michigan State, the USC's, even Boston College, because that's, what I'm saying. saying, religious type thing. You got to have an organization that's going to regulate that. What I do like about the NCAA, a lot of HBCUs and Division 2s and 3s that just been developed, they get a little bit of percentage of that money that helps they venues, the schools, and that guy that wasn't getting highly recruited, he can now go to a D2 and be that guy that you was just saying, Blair, that nobody knew about. So I do like when they do trickle down the money a little bit, because beforehand you can go to a HBCU and it just look like trash. Like the uniforms was still the 70s. Like these niggas playing games, and it's somebody your grandpa had that jersey on. So I do for that, but like you were saying, other than that, what do they do? You know what I'm saying? It's really no benefit to it. As far as the super conferences, I do believe, I'm trying to sum it up, I don't want you editing too much, Chris, but I do believe something's going to happen to where it will be, it's going to have to make sense. The money going to have to make sense. Either two power conferences going to get together, ACC and the SEC. I hate it when like West Virginia joined the Big 12. That was kind of stupid for me, just because of geographical travel type things. I was like, that's kind of stupid. And then I hate when teams leave, just like Texas leave. You know what I'm saying? They biggest opponent is like Texas A&M, Texas Tech. You're gonna miss those games. So that's just like the big, like Ohio State, like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get down and lay down. We don't go join the SEC. Now we're gonna miss that Michigan game. So you know what I'm saying?
So problem.
As a fan, it sucks. But if they did what they were saying on ESPN, they talking about just, hey, we gonna link up, we gonna play each other, and we gonna say fuck them niggas. You know what I'm saying? That'll make a whole lot of kids go to those schools too. So it's kind of, you know what I'm saying, up in the air right now, but it's gonna be very, very interesting, man. I could see different talent going all over the world. It's just like how they be saying, like with the NBA, like these guys don't have rivals and stuff like that. They cool. They've been growing up playing AAU ball. Same thing with NFL. These guys been playing Pee Wee, been on national championship teams, traveling teams. These guys know each other. Like he'll call his boy from Florida. He way out in Washington. Hey man, come play with me. And so I think it actually benefits college football. And I believe these kids will get paid a little bit better because of TV rights, going off of what Darius and Blair was saying. So to answer the question, I'm very interested, and it's going to be a fun coming up 4 or 5 years. You said that they're supposed to be joining or something?
Yeah, they're going to join in like 4 or 5 years. But
at first, I ain't going to lie, because I look the SEC just, bro, you know, it's just like that spoiled rich kid coming to school with all the J. Like, bro, you just had the blue and white ones on? You're like, yeah, my mama bought me the red and white ones too, though. Like, damn, nigga, you get everything. So I feel some kind of way like that. Notre Dame coming to the Big baby. You know what I'm saying? Clemson coming to Big 10, baby.
And that's the thing that I'm interested in too. Like, so what is going to happen with them? Because they've been on this independent thing for so long, from the beginning, and now that you're starting to see, and now that you're starting to see people moving and shaking, like, all right, we're just gonna go on over here. What they can literally be like the other teams. So say it's these 4 super conferences, right? And Notre Dame, like, but we won't end with y'all, but we still want to be independent. They can literally just be like, but we don't need you though. So you can go on, do your independent thing, but you just D2. Nobody gonna count your national championship. So you good.
I think
you know what I'm saying? You could do that.
I think but
the thing that tainted is that Notre Dame is always viewed as a school that can make the championship game.
When that
no matter who they play, when as long as they're undefeated to a certain point, people put
the past
Notre Dame in the top 5 for years, bro. If they're undefeated till like week 7 or 8, they talk about Notre Dame in the national championship game every single time. It does not matter who they play. If Notre Dame plays and they're winning, they always talk about Notre Dame.
Eventually, the thing is you gotta win. And that's something that they have.
Yeah. They have to win. And they'll win up until they start playing the teams that are really good, and they end up getting smoked. And he was like, I guess Notre Dame wasn't that good this year.
But that's the point. That's the point. So it makes it like, okay, what are they going to do? How's that going to work itself out? Then it's like, well, how are these conferences going to work themselves out? And then they came out that they said they're forming an alliance. So I'm like, what are y'all doing with that? So if all the other conferences are forming an alliance, so what are y'all doing with that? So are y'all like, it's going to be us versus the SEC? Like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, I'm trying to see. I feel like they're trying to keep
some teams
the other conferences.
benefit. Some smaller schools are going to benefit, or schools that are right there on the cusp are going to benefit, because all of these bigger schools just going to start beating up on each other.
Yep.
And the biggest thing in college, it's if you lose one game, it can come down to, okay, you lost to Alabama. But if you done lost 2 games or 3 games, it don't matter who you lost to. The fact is you lost.
It'll make more sense, like going off of what Blair was saying. Do it. It don't have to be 64 teams. What is it, like 68 in the college basketball? But it can be 24. Because it's always that team, like Coastal this year. It's always that team that's out the tournament.
Bro, it's gonna be 16, but if everybody joins up, they're gonna have to expand it some just to make it to the outside team.
Teams and a team being hot that's a real thing.
So like a coastal a lot of other sports,
So in football, a Coastal or a Boise State or one of these teams getting hot, and then they only lost 1 game already. Now they coming into the playoff hot. They done 31 points average in the past 5 games or something. Like, that shit gonna mean a lot. And then you got Georgia or Alabama or Ohio State, who you might feel like they better, but they lost 2 games in their conference. So
and that's gonna be one of the problems, because all the powerhouse schools in the SEC, they're gonna beat up on each other, period, point blank. So they might come in, they might be hot. They might have lost their first 2 games at the beginning of the season and ran a table. Where are you gonna put them in a tournament? You see what I'm saying?
Because
1 loss.
Because you combined all the teams, strength of schedule means a lot less at that point. Because they're going to be like, bruh, your schedule ain't no different than nobody else in your conference, because all y'all playing the same conference.
You got that damn right. And they're going to be like, well, sorry for you.
For sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be an interesting thing. As a college football fan, I really, truly enjoy it. I love college football. It's very, very exciting. Can't wait for the season to kick off here in a couple weeks, about 2 weeks.
I'm going to upset Alabama.
For your sanity, God, please let that happen for him. But
his sanity don't need that, bro. He don't think that either. As a fan, he is for the U all day. So he is definitely gonna be like, let's go U. But if they lose to Alabama, he's not gonna be like, man, they cheated us. He ain't gonna think that. You gonna think they lost to Alabama, bro. He ain't gonna be
What's gonna happen when Ohio State play Michigan? That's what
they gonna win. Don't ask me what's gonna happen, because I'm gonna say the same thing you gonna say. I'm gonna say the same thing everybody sitting right here is gonna say. But 18, they gonna win. It don't matter. They win.
Until the week of the game, you be like, man, Harbaugh gonna fuck it up.
I'm gonna keep saying it until the double zeros pop for the game. Like they're gonna find a way. No, I wouldn't do that. All right, till the game was going and the score got out of sight of reasonable, then I would be like, all right, it's over. I hold on to that, you know what I mean? But in general.
All right, y'all. I gotta end this one.
Do better, man, so we can have that strength of schedule a little bit better, man.
Yes.
They don't do a little bit better. So I'm rooting for y'all except till that game come.
All right.
We need that.
I'm not rooting for y'all. Even till that game comes. Not at all. Not the slightest. Not rooting for y'all. Not one bit.
But It's been another amazing episode of Yeah, I Said It Sports. Thank y'all for continuing to like, share, and subscribe. If you made it to this point in the video, if you want to be on the show, email your boy. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. We out this piece. Deuce.
Peace.
Peace.